And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely small break and that brutal OST as we have returned with the second half of the broadcast, second half of the SC2 Masters Spring 2024 DreamHack Dallas Open Stage Bracket B. Bracket B? Yeah. Open Bracket B here. We just wrapped up with a couple of ZVZs and PvPs with Solar, with Rogue, with Mana, with ShaDoWn. We just covered one of our first elimination matches with Mana going down to Solar. Now we are here with the upper bracket match of Rogue versus ShaDoWn. Let's go. And again, I'm always excited to cover more of Rogue just because Rogue is more recently coming back, more recently returning, and has been getting some really surprising results. Not just Rogue, a lot of these returning players, Rogue and Trap, they're like the two players that have a lot of limelight on them, that have taken down some big names in these online tournaments and even popping off in some of these offline events as well. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Zerg player representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes from Atlanta, France. It is ShaDoWn. We go. So we are going to be settling in. So we are going to be calming things down here. Again, Rogue already flexing his skill against Solar, but to be honest, the ZvZ versus Solar was very chaotic. It was just very chaotic, very intense. It was over in 10 or so minutes. So I say like 15 minutes. It was like a 15-minute series, very short. And I'm here to sink my teeth into something greater. We have seen ShaDoWn prove himself time and time again in these matchups, in WTL especially. If maybe you're not too privy to World Team League, if you maybe haven't been watching too much, or maybe every now and then, ShaDoWn was one of the players that Platinum Heroes relied upon last year. Throughout all of last year, in both seasons of WTL, ShaDoWn, DNS, you know, they were the pillars of the Platinum Heroes. And yeah, ShaDoWn really got a lot of our respect in WTL. Like, he was just getting better and better results. He was able to take down some of these bigger and bigger names. He was just really impressive in 2023. So coming into 2024, like, I've got some higher expectations, or like, I have some anticipation, maybe that's a better way of putting it, anticipation for ShaDoWn as well as DNS. Two of these strong French Protoss players in the European region. They've been doing well for themselves even in this season of WTL, and we'll see how that translates to offline play. So now it's going to be Gate Expand. We do have our standard setup here from ShaDoWn. Meanwhile, Rogue is settling in, going to be joining up. He's going to be saturating his bases. Likewise, when it comes to Rogue's play, we haven't seen too much of his ZvP. We've seen it every now and then in the ESL Open Cups. And still just trying to get a read on what he does prefer to go for. We've seen a lot of Ling aggression out of Rogue. But I'm curious how he does approach the mid to late game here, as we enter Golden Aura. To enter this, so far it's going to be a Stargate opener. Going to be, I imagine, an Oracle. Triple Oracle into a third base. Kind of like DNS, ShaDoWn is also one to thrive in the mid game as well. One to thrive in the mid game, not really one to be hyper aggressive early on. It's going to be settling into our game. Oracle threatening a Shade, going for the Tumor. Oh, can we get it? We can! Tumor goes down, and the Adept should be able to survive. Ooh, does it barely get away. Taking a bit of hull damage, but will escape. Likewise, Rogue settling in. Joining up. Of course, recently returning from the military. Which is why it's really... it's a little bit bittersweet. I was going to say it's really impressive that that Rogue and Trap have both found themselves teams already, which is really cool. it's also a little bit sad for some of the Korean players that have yet to find a team. Most of them have finally been picked up. You know, Nightmare finally joined Bleed Esports, which was really cool. Creator finally joined Blacklist International. These pickups were very recent. Fun fact, the day of DreamHack Dallas was when Blacklist International announced that Creator had joined. But we're still missing DRG. Like, DRG for the past, like, 6 months has been taking down big names like Bjorn and Solar and, like, getting these really good results. And, yeah, it is bittersweet to see, like, all these other players getting picked up, and especially, like, Trap and Rogue, who just recently came out, and then, like, DRG kind of gets, like, left by the wayside. It's like, oh, smooch. It doesn't bode well. It does give DRG a little bit less reason to be as active. Hope it doesn't lead to retirement, as we do have Adept shading across the map. Again, it's going to be triple Oracle into 6 Adept. Sorry, 7 Adept. Going to be able to get on top of the Queens. First Queen goes down, busting in towards that third base. The Queens are falling one after the other. There are no Lings to defend. 22 Lings as a bit of a reaction, but Rogue was not ready for this. Ay. Like, again, this Oracle Adept aggression is not out of the norm, and Rogue was caught with his pants down. Has retained his workers, but lost so many Queens. Yeah, Lings, they will engage. Good positioning here with the Adepts. They do get cleaned up. That was 3 Queens going down. At least we saved the workers. Rogue still in 3-base saturation. Lings, they go out for a counterattack. And he was caught off guard. Lings rotating over. With help with his shield battle, yeah, we're okay. We are in position. Lings are forced back. And behind this, we have another gateway explosion. Okay. We saw some charge aggression earlier out of Mana, and it looks like the same for ShaDoWn. There are now 4 more gateways, in addition to the 4 that we already have. Yeah, working up towards 8 gates, +1. Charge Prism is on the way. Temple Archives as well for Archon production. It looks like there's going to be a very strong timing here with a handful of Archons. I'm talking like 2, maybe 3 Archons, and mass charge blood. Yeah, it's going to be hitting just as +1 finishes. Here we go. ShaDoWn ready to move out. We're getting ready to move out. Prism has arrived. Gateways are still finishing up. Here come those Archons. And we just have to wait for another wave of reinforcements. Another round of gateways. Another round of warp-ins. And then we're pushing. Now, when it comes to Rogue's army, what do we have to work with? We're getting up to 4-base saturation, which is good. We're getting into Ling Hydra. Actually, producing a couple of Roaches to support. So really just Roach Hydra. But once again, we're not quite ready for this. ShaDoWn is pushing. We spoke about the +1 timing. +1 is done. And here comes that wave of reinforcements. The extra round of warp-ins. And Rogue, are we ready for this? So far, shaving off some Zealots. Not bad. The Hydras did pop out in time, and yeah, ShaDoWn has to retreat. Yeah, was hoping there would be a little bit less to work with. But honestly, the Roaches, that came out just when they needed to. Prism survives. Hydra's going to be able to kite back. Roaches are going down, but we are preserving most of the Hydras. Oh, it's still going to be a brutal trade. We take down the Zealots, we take down the Archon. And Rogue holds. Whew. Okay, Rogue does hold. Now we can focus on upgrades. We're joining up. Hive is on the way. Rogue has weathered the storm. Things were getting close there. The Prism... Oh my god. As it did cost us 14 Roaches and a handful... and 4 Hydras. But again, it was only 4 Hydras going down. Rogue survives. Now we have to go for a longer game. ShaDoWn saturating his 4th. Getting into +2. Bleeding out those Archons was quite a loss though. for ShaDoWn. Rogue building up. With the Hive comes the Lurker Den. Lurkers, Hive upgrades. The Roaches are moving out. I believe the Hydras, the Hydras are staying back at home. Ideally, we do want to get rid of these Roaches. They are more expendable. So it does make sense to be active. Oh, ShaDoWn going straight for the Fleet Beacon though. Okay. Second robot and Fleet Beacon. 5th base as well. If we can secure this 5th base, it's going to be a big moment for ShaDoWn. So we're getting ready for the late game. Are getting ready for it. Hydra forcing the army back. At the same time, Zalaramai coming in from behind, going for the mineral line. Does distract Rogue. Does keep him busy. High Templar exposed. We get 1. We get 2. Nice split. 2 High Templar go down. Very nice pick off by Rogue. And he is maxing out. Nice dodge on the storm. Once again. Papi, calm down. Yeah, the storms are becoming a little bit lackluster here for ShaDoWn. We're running out of storm. And we're not stopping. Okay, we have 2 more left. 2 more storms. We have some fresh High Templar. We've been banking up energy. Storms are thrown down. We need to wait a little bit longer here. Another storm on a handful of Hydras. At the same time, the counterattack catching some reinforcements. What a juicy connection on the right-hand side. Finally! But it may just be too late. We're getting on top of the High Templar. We force the Morphin of Archons. And Rogue, he's broken through. He's broken the base. Immortal getting very low, reinforcing with Roaches. Purely Roaches. And it looks like Rogue has done it. We could go for the... Yeah, we're going to be going for the 4th base. Catching reinforcements as well. The Immortal will barely survive. Barely. And it looks like SkyToss is not going to get underway. Again, ShaDoWn, he was getting ready for a longer game. He was getting ready for a 5th base for SkyToss. Stargate production. But Rogue went for the kill. And everything very quickly escalated out of control. Again, it all started with catching the High Templar here in the center of the map. High Templar went down, and then just Rogue kept pushing. Refused to slow down, rallying over towards the 5th. 5th base falling. Again, Rogue purely producing Roaches here. Just brute forcing his way through. It's barely being forced back, but here come reinforcements, and Immortals are good, but they're not that good. The mothership has arrived. We can have Cloak. We activate the Cloak. We're holding on, we're buying time, but ShaDoWn is stuck on 3 bases. Stuck on 3 hatcheries, Pappy. Oh, I was ready to strap into a longer game as well. But it feels like Rogue just refuses to let up. Does refuse. Another High Templar goes down. Another 3 High Templar. Ay. Brutal losses for ShaDoWn. We get on top of the army. GG gets called, and Rogue takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Rogue will take a lead. That was still a very, very tense game. Despite the fact that we were trying to rush into like Hive Tech and Lurkers, likewise SkyToss as well, we didn't really embrace that. Basically, as soon as Rogue saw an opportunity, as soon as he saw an opening, he just went for it. The killer instinct there was really insane, and it's something that we didn't actually see too often when we're casting players like Dark or Solar, even several in Raynor. They didn't quite play like this. It was just a really interesting response out of Rogue. Just hammering down that R key, just flooding nothing but Roaches, just gunning for that kill. And he got it. Did get it in the end. With that, Rogue takes the lead. Now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkion, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the French Protoss player. The blue Protoss representing Platinum Heroes. It is ShaDoWn. Looking to bounce back. I'm going to bring it all back here. I do apologize for this team logo. So I remember at the time, because we were casting DreamHack Dallas live, there was a mistake with the logos mod, and by accident, it makes sense as an accident. But in the logos mod, instead of the Team Falcons logo, it was the Talon Esports logo, which is close but not quite what the logo should be looking like. This was fixed for the final day. We let the admins know, and they did fix it up for the playoff brackets, just in case, and then for later rounds. But for the open stage, the logo is incorrect. I do apologize for that. I do apologize, as we are going to be settling into Game 2. Now going to be a standard hatch gas pool out of Rogue. Likewise, gate expand out of ShaDoWn. Again, it was a really interesting build out of ShaDoWn, going for his charge timing, which it looked like it was going to be catching Rogue off guard, but Rogue happened to just barely make his roaches in time. Was able to muster up a defense. Now we're settling into a much more larger map, hoping to lead into a longer game. Like, it's crazy to say that, like, considering what happened in the last game. Like, we were teching up, that's true. We were working towards, a 4 and 5 base setup, but it did feel like the game itself was just really tense and still really short. Just very aggressive game. Oh, as ShaDoWn is going for a Twilight Council opener. Okay, we are mixing it up. We are going to be mixing things up. Now, with this Twilight Council opener, this could be a couple of different things. This could be Glaive Adepts. This could be a DT-based opener. It could be a mixture of both if we pull back into gas. But there it is. We have pulled out of gas. This should be Glaives from ShaDoWn. Now, what I will say is that there are different variations of Glaive Adepts. I would typically expect this to be 4-gate Glaive Adepts with a Robo and a Prism. But I do know that a lot of the European Protoss players have been embracing this Robo-less style of Glaives, where it's just like, I want to say 3 gateways, you go into Glaives, and then you take a third. Because you don't waste any money or any resources on a Robo, you can afford a faster third base and have a stronger economy and have a better transition as a result. So it looks like that's the case. It looks like this is going to be basically a macro Glaive Adept build. I think Strange started this, the other European Protoss player. I do think Strange popularized this, if I'm not mistaken. If other people maybe remember an earlier time than that, then maybe it originated from a different player. But yeah, 3-gate. So 3-gate Glaives into a third. Something more economic. There we go, Nexus on the way. Fun fact, this is not done at all by the Koreans. There's a reason why I specified like the European players enjoy this, and they do. Players like Stats, Creator, Hero, they don't touch this build, which I find is interesting that there is kind of like there are certain play styles that are a little bit more endemic to certain regions than others. As the Overlord is coming in for the scouts, and we'll confirm. Soon be able to confirm. Adepts are moving out across the map. Lings are on the way. Roach Warren gets thrown down as well at a reasonable time, around 4 minutes. So Rogue does have the tools to defend. Adepts going to be shading in. Meet up with the Queens. And we commit! And we do commit to the shade. Lings are in position. And we should be able to shut up most of this down. I say that Lings are being cleaned up. But so are the Adepts. Adepts are going down. Looking at the Unisols, have 6 drones full. Not bad, but now we've lost map control, and now we can threaten a counterattack. Rogue sending everything across the map to the third. Now in a bit of a rough position. Does warp in time. Does defend. And because of this build, I would want to say that ShaDoWn didn't get enough damage done, but he has a third. like we have the base, we have saturation. We're quite far ahead in economy, and there we go. We're going for a counter all-in. Lings are flooding out, Ravagers as well. Rogue is committed. We're going to try to punish this opener, but again, this was a more macro-oriented build. If ShaDoWn is too greedy, then maybe we can catch him out. We do have sentries warping in, Stalkers as well. Force fields will buy time. With the relation of these Ravagers, I mean, now we're fully aware of the all-in. We're getting ready for it. We're going for the Immortal. Overcharge is popped. Biles, they do connect with the cannons. But the overcharge keeps everything alive. We hold the line. The Immortal stands strong. Rogue hoping to bait the army out of range of the shield battery. But there are so many. Overcharge does run out. But now we have 2 Immortals. Now we have a second Immortal as well. Biles, they take down the cannon. Lings are being cleaned up. Additional Lings do rock up though. They head for the army. This Immortal going ham on the Ravagers. Sentry is biled, but we're running out of army, we're running out of Lings, running out of steam. Yeah, just Rogue just doesn't have enough. And we can chase him down. Ooh, the Biles, they took out the Observer. We did overextend for a moment. The Mortals are saved, the Adepts are not. Rogue doubling down. He did run up a little bit back at home. Ooh, but he catches an Immortal. Very nice pickup. Immortal goes down. We dive on the rest of the army. Reinforces second Immortal falls. These are expensive losses for ShaDoWn, but his economy has been left untouched this entire time. Rogue was trading with the army, but the probes have been happily mining on 60 workers. Rogue's still playing catch up, still behind. Lair is done. Now we get Roach speed. Now we get an Eva chamber for +1. But ShaDoWn is already working on +2. ShaDoWn is so far ahead here tech-wise. And now it's on Rogue to defend, to survive. Now ShaDoWn is expanding, taking a 4th. So he may be able to give Rogue the time that he needs to stabilize, to get into our own 4th base, to join up. 4th is on the way. We're at 3 base saturation. With Ravager in production as well. Rogue, he's getting there. Even does hit the 4th. Balin is on the way, so it's going to be Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. Temple Archives from ShaDoWn. This tells us that ShaDoWn is taking a defensive stance. We could have tried to double down and go for a 3 base all-in and killed Rogue, and I think it would have been successful. But ShaDoWn is taking a more late-game approach, or a more macro approach. Where he's like, you know what? I have a lead. We'll just extend it. You know, we'll just calm things down. We'll take a 4th base. We'll defend. We'll tech up. It is risky. It is giving Rogue an opportunity. So Rogue can recover. Adepts diving into the main. 2 Adepts shade towards the natural. Oh, we lift everything up. Now what's interesting is that Rogue is not taking up into Hydras. He's sticking with Ling Bane, Roach Ravager, which is very mid-game oriented. I guess it makes sense just because he can't really afford to rush into Hive and rush into Lurkers. Doesn't have the economy for it. Ooh. Observers pile down. Doesn't have the economy, but this also means that his army also has a bit of a time limit. Otherwise, he will be outscaled. Oh, we've seen this before. There we go. We have high ground. We needed some high ground vision. Overseer came in. Not the first time we've seen that. Fun fact, so basically if you are within this this smoke patch here, you're within range to contest the Zelnaga, so you can't, the opposing player can't take control of it for vision, which means they just can't see the unit. Just can't see the unit, can't attack it. Unless you have like an overlord or an overseer or like an observer. Something else to command vision, a scan. Prism is pinned back. Now we get the Hive, and now we get the Hydrogen. I feel like this could have been thrown down earlier. I mean, to be fair, Rogue, I'm sure he was expecting a push. I don't think Rogue was expecting ShaDoWn to be this passive and this defensive. So we missed an opportunity. We could have rushed into this a lot sooner, and we could have taken advantage of the more defensive stance of ShaDoWn. Alas, we've now realized what's going on, and now it's a little bit later. Now instead we've invested into this army, we're stuck with it for now. And we'll see if we can make use of it. Oh, ShaDoWn is soon to push out. Do keep him busy. Very important here that we just buy time for the Lurker Den. For those upgrades. In a head-on fight, I do favor ShaDoWn. But a lot of it does depend on the angle of attack, on the storms, on what the Banelings connect with, on what they don't connect with. Raise them into the main. Adapt to counterattack here towards the south. Still not moving out. This is now where I have to be a little bit critical of ShaDoWn. At this point, I still favor his army, but because we're banking on resources, I would love to see a fleet beacon, second Stargate, a transition to Skytoss, just to be ready for that game state if we need it. ShaDoWn is pushing forward. 5 storms, first 2, first 3. Oh my god, the storm's gonna be thrown down. Yeah, big connections on the Ling Bane. Ling Bane does run out, and what's left over? The Mass Immortal and Archon. Yeah, we are breaking through. Did cost us all the storms. All the High Templar did go down. But the main Protoss army, the Death Bull, is still up and running, still alive. Shuts down the Golden. We can keep pushing. Berg is in trouble. Lyle's not quite going to be connecting. We have the Lurker Den, but no Lurkers are ready for this. We needed more time. Push on forward. Storm does connect. Ling Bane trickling in. Getting within range of the 4th. More starters stepping forward. Massive storm on the Ravagers. On more of the Ling Bane. And yeah, we're snowballing out of control. We dive on the army. We surround the Ravagers. GG gets called, and ShaDoWn takes game number 2. GG. GG, well played. We are forcing the ace match. And again, I wasn't really fond of Rogue's response to the Glaive Adept opener, but I mentioned that actually at the start of the game. I was talking about how this build that ShaDoWn went for is very it's much more prevalent in the European scene, and it's not seen at all amongst the Korean Protoss players. So I'm pretty sure Rogue just misread the situation and assumed it was 4-gate glaives. 4-gate glaives instead of 3-gate. So I'm pretty sure he thought it was a little bit more committed than it was. So yeah, he was kind of lured into that counterattack after he shut down the initial wave, and it was lackluster as a result. Did get punished, did get shut down. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Let's go. Going to be taking place on Oceanborn. We'll see where this takes us. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Zerga player representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Being forced into the ace match and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the French Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is ShaDoWn. Being a little bit cheeky in that last game. And again, did catch Rogue unawares. Bearing in mind that Rogue hasn't been back for too long, so I'm sure there are certain builds that maybe he's unfamiliar with. That is something you can use to your advantage. As Rogue does have to think on his feet. Now we're going to be settling in. And once again, as we load into Oceanborn, we have seen a lot of aggression on this map from the side of Zerg, so I'm curious if Rogue is willing to embrace that. Rogue is the kind of player that could be in an ace match, could be in a best of 5 ace match even, or even a best of 7 ace match, and go for it all in. You go for some cheese, go for some hyper aggression. I mean, we saw that against Solar earlier, with Rogue going for a Ling Flood in the ace match. So I wouldn't put it past him. Would not put it past him. At home, we have our gate expand into Cybercore, standard open out of ShaDoWn. Likewise, I should also mention that ShaDoWn, he also has the potential to go for a Twilight Council opener once again, but based on the pylon placement, it does look like a Stargate opener. We'll see. We shall see. The pylon is thrown down a little bit closer to the edge of the main, which is a little bit more ideal for a Stargate. And there, the Stargate has been thrown down. Should be for Oracle, should lead into a third base. While Rogue is being active. Pushing back that probe. And settling in. Settling in back. Now just going to be fanning out our Lings. Trying to slip in at some point, get some scouting, get a read on the tech. It's going to be that much more important against ShaDoWn just because he did reveal that he's willing to open up Glaive Adepts, and even not the most standard of Glaive Adepts as well. So the Ling will confirm that it is going to be the Oracle first, not a Void Ray. Oracle opener out of ShaDoWn. Does slip in. Nice guys across the map. We do get 2 Adepts into the main. Oh! Catching a drone. Not quite a second. 1 drone goes down. 2 drones even. Not too bad. Trading against the Lings. Oh, we do bleed out an Adept. That is going to make the third base a little bit more vulnerable to a Ling counterattack. Speaking of, Lings are here. And the third base is exposed. Oh, we get the surround. Another Adept is going to be falling. Oh, another 2 Adepts. This is a really rough start. A really rough start for ShaDoWn. The Oracle has to stay back at home. Unable to harass. Ay. Do force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. Now, thankfully, Rogue did not make an extra wave of Lings. If this was Solar, we would see an extra Lings 100%. So ShaDoWn will be able to expand. Does establish his third. Ooh, as Rogue does go for his Evo Chamber as his tech of choice, getting to +1 melee. This could be the beginnings of maybe even Ling Hydra. I'm curious if we do skip the Rotoran. We'll wait a little bit longer. Stalker gets surrounded. We have our standard follow-up Twilight Council, and a Stargate. Sorry, Twilight Council and a Forge. This was starting down a little bit earlier, so I'm curious if we go for +1 and charge again. Lair is on the way. Yeah, we are skipping the Roach Warren. Oh wait, no, never mind. I was gonna say we should have thrown it down by now, and there's the Roach Warren. Now being thrown down. So we're not rushing into Hydras. Or if we do, we at least have a safety Roach Warren to work with. Pick up a Stalker, another Stalker. Oh my god! Massive pickups here! We even get the Link Scout! The Link does slip into the main base. We confirm the Blink and +1. Confirm the tech, confirm the upgrades. Force back the army. More Links on the way. Very nice damage here from Rogue. Back at home, Roach Warren is done. We can get into Roach speed. Gases are being taken. ShaDoWn does move out across the map. As he moves out, Lings move in. We're going for the shield battery. Boys, they have to be pulled. Oh, boys are being pulled. So many probes going down. And across the map, the Queens, they defend. They hold on to the front lines. Overcharge forced to be popped. How many? 10 probes go down. Oh my god. 10 workers, 6 stalkers, and we're not done. The overcharge runs out. And the Links are back. The Oracles, once again, they turn back around. And do you see what I see? I see Overlord speed. We're going for a 3-base all-in. We're cutting workers at 55. That is sub 3-base saturation. We have a 4th just for Larva. We spoke earlier about how common it is to go for all-ins on Oceanborn. It is very common to go for 3-base all-ins. That's exactly what we see here. It is a German taxi. We have our taxi ready. We're jumping in. Send it. It is loaded up. We are sending it across the map. ShaDoWn has been busy back at home defending. The Oracles have been unable to scout. Now we have to get a read on the lack of saturation on the army, but we miss it. Ay, ay, ay. We do miss the move out. Blink is done. We at least have some Stalkers to defend. Oracles are diving in. They threaten the 3rd, which means they're not at home to defend. We need everything back at home. Okay, the Oracles, they turn around. Overcharge gets popped. Shield battery going to be targeted, I imagine. Yeah, with those vials. Yeah, the shield battery falls. We can focus out the Stalkers. Boys are being pulled. I mean, there's still a good amount of Stalkers on the low ground, but the vials, they just keep connecting. They connect over and over again. The Oracles will clean up the Queens at least. The vials! Oof. That should not have happened. Yeah, we bring down every Stalker. We bow down the Oracles. We have broken the 3rd base. And there's just not much left. There's just not much left here. So clearly, Rogue is keeping up with the meta. Like, this build is very common on Oceanborn. Even amongst the European Zerg players as well. Yeah, we dive into the 3rd. Vials are going to shut down the shield battery. Force our way through. Busting into the natural. And GG. Good luck gets called. Rogue will take the series 2-1. Advancing on to a qualifying match. GG. Oh. GG. GG, well played. So again, like this is one of the things that I was most curious about, is whether or not Rogue has been keeping up with the meta or just learning things himself. But again, Oceanborn, winding it back a little bit, I was referring to, like, you know, this is like common on this map. But the reason why this is common on this map is because of the lack of ramp at the 3rd. To get onto the same point of elevation as the 3rd base on Oceanborn, there's a ramp in the center of the map, so it's very easy to get on the same even playing field. On top of that, there are other things that came into play here. The fact that the Oracles were stuck at home because of the Ling harass. The Ling harass started with the 1st step going down. I feel like I need to emphasize that a little bit more, just because your first 2 adepts are really crucial. If you lose one of your first adepts, if they don't make it back home, your 3rd base is so much more vulnerable. As we saw, the Lings, they were able to get a surround on the 2nd adept, on the 3rd adept. They killed the probe, they delayed the third, they forced the first Oracle to stay at home, the second Oracle to stay at home. Like, it's just, it all just adds up. It all just very quickly adds up. It snowballs out of control. And because the Oracles are kept at home, you don't see anything, you don't scout anything, you don't realize the all-in that's coming. So ShaDoWn, he was just caught out completely, didn't realize what was going on, and wasn't ready for the all-in. And with that, GG, well played. There is a fun modern variation of this all-in that I'm sure you've already seen. We've seen a lot from players like Lambo. Lambo's done it a lot, a laser as well. I'm bringing this up because we do have another ZvP on the horizon. Up next is a laser versus Skilless, and the more modern variation of this is you go for the same all-in, but you get dropper lords at the fringe edges of the map, and you go for ling drops. So you go for your regular all-in at the third, and then you go for a ling drop into the main and a ling drop into the natural. That has been a lot more popular as of late. And I first started seeing it from like Lambo and a laser and the European Zerg players, and like Raynor as well. And I'm curious if a laser is going to be bringing that here against Skilless. Depending on the vetoes, depending on the maps, that's going to be a factor here. But yeah, that's something else that we've been seeing as Rogue advances on. And up next, we have a laser versus Skilless. Let's go. Game 1 is on Oceanborn. Okay. we might see it.